Warning, this video may contain spoilers for the TV show or movie that we discuss in this video. If you have not yet watched the TV show or movie that this video is about, please come back to the video at a later time after you have watched the content that was discussed. You have been warned.
Rising with each beat of the music is bringing. We're flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in.
Tactical nuke incoming!
How's it going, everybody? This is Rob of Novakast back with another video for you guys. And oh boy, another kind of remake of an old film. We're going to be talking about House on Haunted Hill. It was released in 1999, directed by William Malone, written by Rob White, Dick Beebe, I think it's Beebe, starring Jeffrey Rush, Phayn Jemison, Taye Diggs, and many, many, many others. I gotta say, this one, I don't know what to call it, because to an extent, I kind of feel like it's more of like a fever dream or like a nightmare, because to an extent, a lot of like when it starts becoming crazy, like when it starts to like kind of amp up when it comes down to the horror, it's literally like a freaking like fever dream. And I don't know if that was the setup, or at least the intention, but that's what it is. Looking at this film, it follows a amusement park mogul who offers a group of people $1 million to spend a night in a haunted house, which I think is kind of close to how the original one was, though. To be fair, especially with I want to say with the extent of how movies were made back in the day for like the old one, some of the scares were kind of corny, to say the least. But yeah, we have again actors like Jeffrey Rush, who plays Stephen Price, which, by the way, does a really good Vincent Price. I know I did that poorly, but a Vincent Price kind of like interpretation. I thought it was really cool, because Vincent Price did play the in the original as the person who was offering the money to the group of people. Phayn Jemison playing Evelyn, Taye Diggs as Eddie, Peter Gallagher as Blackburn, Chris Kattan as Pritchett, Ali Larder as Sarah, Bridget Wilson Samprez as Melissa Marr, as Bridget Wilson, and many, many, many others. And I gotta say, it's an interesting film, and I think the thing that got me like most of all, especially when it comes down to the whole thing, was the house, because again, it is visually, the house itself is amazing when it comes down to what it looks like. Some of the like grotesque visuals, and it got me thinking of like movies like Hellraiser and all that, with how grotesque some of the imagery is. Some of the characters, I'm not gonna lie, are boring. I think the only one that probably was doing much of like acting, only because I want to, and this isn't just because he's one of my favorites, had to be Jeffrey Rush. You know, the guy that played Barbossa for Pirates of the Caribbean, the only good character of that entire franchise. But anywho, yeah, out of all of them, they felt bland. Like, all the characters felt bland and forgettable. Visuals, I have to say it again, because I hate jump scares, but when it comes down to some scares, it's really good. And for the most part, I think it's more of like the imagery that is presented to us. And even though we see near the end, we see kind of like the monster or the thing that's causing everything to happen. We still don't get a very clear explanation of what it is. And I think that's what really gets us. Because to an extent, like, they make it seem like, oh, it's the ghosts of everybody who has died. But looking at the final product or the final monster, it's all like, there's no way that this is just ghosts. There's something else really going on. Too bad they explain it in a sequel. And yes, I'm not kidding, they actually made a sequel to this film. And it's bad. It's, like, really, really bad. So, above all, giving my quick thoughts and review of this movie. The story is interesting when it comes down to the remake. The characters, besides one, I thought were bland. Visuals are interesting and grotesque. When it comes down to, like, the final act, it really, like, bombards you. It's like, it's fast paced. It really, like, ramps up the horror. To an extent, when it comes down to not knowing, like, completely not knowing what's going on, really gets me when it comes down to fear. And the ending kind of, and not going into too much of the ending, it makes me wonder how, like, anybody survives this. So, with that, this is a mixed bag. I kind of feel like this is an average film. Like, this is one of those ones where, like, looking back at it, I just felt like it was average. It wasn't much of a movie. And it tries to do more than what the original intended. But, to an extent, ends up kind of falling, like, head first. So, with that, I think I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10, which, looking at IMDb, it kind of gave it the same thing, which I think was like a 5.7 out of 10. But I'm going to go lower. It's a 5. It has a few things good, but those things, like some other reviews I've done, it does, like, those few things aren't going to help it go to a high level on my end, or at least to my opinion. So, with that was my review of House on Haunted Hill, the remake. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys can, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.
2, 3, 5.